Hello everyone, and welcome back to the adventures of the Green Dawn here in Wildermyth, where the world is currently flooding. We were not able to stop the Gorgons from retrieving the sea spear last time, and as a result, the world has begun to flood. A tile will flood in another 150 days, and another town will be lost. And sadly, this was our only town where we had fabric. Without the fabric, I haven't been able to craft new armor for our wonderful adventurers. So that is terrible. But hopefully we will be able to slow down the doom of the world by meeting with Arnon at Lyrai Hollow. And I think that Arnon is actually a member of the Woken. So the Woken themselves have come forth and insist that the Gorgons have upset the balance of the world so terribly that we should work together. So we're actually going to be meeting with them in just a little bit and hopefully reuniting our group of heroes who's beginning to get big enough that I think we can start splitting them into two groups to be able to tackle some of the infestations and do some building while also advancing closer and closer for battle, because we can recruit a new member here at Trusty Warren. So we definitely need to come and clear this tile because this is a town that needs its population protected. And while we're here, we have enough legacy points, 4 legacy points exactly, to recruit a new member. So we're going to try to do that. And then we are going to try to make our way over. Oh, let's see. Assault Shire Altar. So the altar is what we wanted to do. Meet Arnon at Lyrai Hollow. So where is Lyrai Hollow? I could have sworn like we were already where we needed to be. Curse Poplar Forest. I think we need to go to Curse Poplar Forest. So we need to send the 4 adventurers we have down here over to Trusty Bottle Top to be able to build a pass over the mountain range anyway. And while we do that, we will have Kitty and Juniper Wolfson, Kitty and Hazel's adopted son, who apparently they left at Foggyscape to be raised into the warrior that he has grown into. He's huge. He is quite a large fellow. I'm not sure how he will actually do when it comes to attacking and when it will how it will come to his ability to fight. So we're gonna have to see what his story will end up being. But he was named Juniper by Hazel, and he gained the name Wolfson because he is the son of Kitty after all, and she's kind of half wolf, which is amazing. And Hazel, look at her eye. Look at how Renly has just been decked out, and I think she like silks and really fancy things. And look at Lindia now that she is wearing the robes of the flame priestess that we made for her. Ah, this is so amazing. She's not going to retire till she's 75 too, so she should be around for a while. But all right, I'm excited about the idea of having 2 groups. Hopefully that will help us in the future. For now, we're going to send Juniper and Kitty down here. So we're gonna no, don't you dare start things. So we're gonna get that started, and we're gonna have the group travel over to Trusty Warren so that we can try to patrol and recruit, because only one person needs to recruit. We're at Trusty Bottle Top. I'm going to have, let's have Hazel do the recruiting. She is getting, well actually Lindia is the priestess and the leader. We'll have her do the recruiting. So Hazel, you're gonna do the recruiting. Or Lindia, I mean. We only need Lindia to do it. So it's gonna take her 3 days to do that, which is fine. And then we're actually going to have the others, Hazel, Red, and Renly, go ahead and patrol the area while we try to find who we are going to add in next. Large company cost plus, oh, because our group is so big, it costs an extra legacy point to hire someone. All right, Monarch Singer, a bookish peacemaker. Let's learn a little bit about him. He's got some charisma. He's very high on the healing. He's bookish. He is not greedy at all. He is brave. He likes to follow. He's not a hothead. He's not very romantic. He's only a tiny bit snarky. He's not much of a loner, not much of a poet. So he actually has a really good personality. I like the idea that maybe actually he is a monk. So maybe he's been training to be some sort of acolyte and wanted to go join a monastery, but has realized that he has maybe magical? Who do we need most? Another mystic? The mystics are so useful with their ability to interfuse. I could use more hunters. They seem to be the most useful. Let's find out his history if I want to keep him. Conflicting stories put Malnark in different corners of the world at his birth. Not even Malnark seems to know of his true origin. The treasures of the traveling mystics always drew his eye. The way they sang with power, he developed a quiet longing to lay hold of them. The ache only grew. Nothing pleased him like a cloying wine and a healing night with a stranger. He lived for the promise of these things. So he's a mysterious literary flirt. Huh. Okay. Alright, I like the idea that Malnark here, let's go ahead and, I'll go ahead and keep him because he's kind of grown on me. I like the idea that he wanted to join a monastery, and he's not much of a flirt, so I wonder where that came from. Let me check out, like, okay, apparently it's just one of his hooks that he ended up developing, and he loves the literary stuff, and I'm gonna say that he is actually a child who was delivered to a monastery and had a natural affinity with books, and he was put into the monastery because he is actually the illegitimate son of a very, very wealthy and influential noble, and a very scandalous, what should it be? I think a very scandalous bard, perhaps, but that's so cliche. I want something a little bit more noble for Malnark singers. His last name is Singer, so you know what? It's going to be, we're going to have him be the illegitimate son of a noble woman who was already married and, in fact, already had some other children of her own. And, maybe her brother-in-law. We're gonna go that ridiculous. Her brother-in-law, who was absolutely the best singer, but as a result was thrown out of the family and ended up wandering around as kind of a flirt, and it was taken in by a bunch of the other noble women now and then because they all thought he was quite the charmer. But he really secretly loved his sister-in-law, and she had chosen or been married to his brother instead. I like it. So I guess that would make him of double noble birth, but his father, I think, will say, fruited away all of his talents and skills in the end. And so it was something where it was beautiful and wonderful while their love affair lasted. But in the end, Malnark's mother really realized that she needed to just erase the entire chapter of her life, and so she placed her son, who we will not name Malnark even. We shall go ahead and name him let's see, Valar? We'll go with Valar. Valar Singer. Alright. And hopefully he will live with Valar. So I like it. So he is the illegitimate son of a noble woman who was in charge of a province, and her brother-in-law, and his dad was a talented singer who got by charming different noble women because he was thrown out of his family for doing something pretty ridiculous. I don't know what ridiculous thing he would have done yet. Probably made a complete hash out of a international trade that would have made his family even more wealthy, and so infuriated his father that while banishing his younger son, or actually, well, let's make him the older son, while banishing his elder son, the singer, Valar's grandfather died of a heart attack from the stress right on the table in the midst of a feast for his aunt's wedding. There we go. Nice convoluted history that I'm going to need some of you guys to write out so that I can keep it straight. But Valar Singer, and then he ended up raised in a monastery by a bunch of monks, but he learned how to sing and really loved it, and even would warble along with the chickens when they were crowing in the morning. Excellent. Welcome to the group. Gossip didn't fail me. Lindia's in town. And he does find the mystics fascinating. And I think perhaps he ended up kind of like his father, sleeping with the wrong person, got caught at the monastery. He shouldn't have been doing that after all. And with that healing night of wine and snuggles, got himself tossed out of being a monk, which would make him very sad. So now he's off to find some other mythical / spiritual leader to follow. And here comes Lindia. You're a long way from home, kiddo. It's been a long time. We've got a lot of catching up to do. Remember how I used to build monsters out of sticks just to knock them down? Promised you that I was going to grow up and save the world? Your heart was in the right place, even if your aim rarely was. Well, you know how life goes. How you drift away, forget what's important, then look around one morning and wonder what happened. Oof, I think that happened when maybe he got caught with the wrong person. But I want to make good on that promise. To become a warrior. Well, in that case, I happen to know a world-saving company that could use another fighter. Alright, and let's go ahead and train Valar as... He's always been fascinated by the mystics. I feel like I have enough mystics? Truly? But... we could always... Well... I kind of want to train him as a hunter. Really badly. Because having the hunters is so useful. They can do the silk touch. I feel like he'd want to be a mystic though. And maybe he has a bit... He's a strong healer. Alright, you know what? We're going to do this the best way. The best way. The way that I love. Where's my dice? Alright, if it's odds, he's a hunter. If it's even, he's a mystic. The boy's a mystic. Alright, it was a 2, so he's going to become a mystic. There we go, another little mystic. I don't know if we really needed one, but I like how it works for the story. And it works that Lindia will be able to train him. So there we go. Oh, are we holding off on patrolling? You need at least 3 heroes? Red, get back in here. There we go. Alright, so patrolling is done. Meanwhile, these two, can they carve this pass? I mean, they can work on that pass, but we really don't need it now. So let's have them travel to this group as well. There we go. Oh, look at him. Valar. He actually gets to start with a higher weapon. Wow. Maybe this staff was left for him by one of the mage monks who knew that perhaps he couldn't find a place amongst the politics of their monastery. But the boy had good talent in his blood. And so we'll say like one of the elder priestesses spoke through the chain of acolytes and sent the heron blood dredge to little Valar, who should have lurking within him the talent for great things. And he has Dusty Drab straight off so that he can hopefully have some armor and warding. Thank freaking goodness. So he can be open-minded, passive, can interfuse with 1 additional target. Soul splitting. When Valar takes damage, for each interfused object, 1 point is prevented, and the object takes 2 damage instead. Let's do soul splitting. That sounds really cool. Or naturalist, advanced interfusion abilities for living matter. Let's do soul splitting because I think he's going to be a bit more bold and go forth to do more battle than usual. All right, and then the rest of this group, let's have some of them start building the mountain pass that we're gonna need, because we are gonna need that mountain pass. Let's put it down here so that we can get through both tiles faster. It's good to have a way through. Good for everyone, I hope. Good idea also to keep it watched and perhaps defended. So it looks like Juniper, who has worked with the blacksmiths and metal before, is very excited to do an engineering project. All right, let's get started. And then we'll have... Nope, those 3 are actually working on patrolling. They can join in once they finish. There we go. All right. And then we'll have Juniper and Kitty join in on this job. And now we have cleared this area of infestation, thank goodness. And then who else is left? Can we have anybody else work on the pass? We can. Let's go ahead and have Hazel help out on the pass, which will give us 41 days. And then we can prepare defenses. And Juniper really likes barricades, so we'll make some barricades with Red and Renly. So just in case we have an incursion, we'll be prepared over here. And otherwise, like, we kind of just have to cope with this. Let's do hidden traps too. There we go. Prepare defense. Just in case we have an incursion through here. Man, 2 new characters so quick after one another is kind of amazing. I mean, we're working... Oh, I guess we could work on, like, another pass, but that sounds silly. Alright, prepare defenses. Let's enchant the battlefield. Alright, and now we just need to finish up with the pass. A calamity! Oh my gosh, just in time! The Gorgons... I didn't realize the Gorgons were there, you guys! Holy canoodles, we're actually gonna have an incursion. The Lonely Cost. Lindia and Kitty went in search of a hermit who they heard about from the mountaintops? Kitty had never really told anyone. In part because she could never be sure it had really happened. A curse had been laid on her head when she was still a child. The work of some weird warlock with no clear motive. Kitty, you stole something from him. I am no doubt am absolutely assured that you stole something from this warlock. You deserved the curse that you got. Time had gone by. Kitty grew more worried as summers passed. Would this be the year? So she finally chose to tell someone. A person she was sure wouldn't worry too much. Lindia didn't worry, and she is an expert in magic, so it makes sense to speak to her of curses. But she did show a dutiful resolve to do whatever she could. So they searched out an exiled hermit of mystical repute, a woman who dwelt on the horizon's edge. I'm just thinking, Lindia, there's a reason exiles got, you know, exiled. What do you mean? Because society couldn't accept them? Exiles are usually people who made too much sense too publicly. Seriously though, why would you live out here? Maybe. But this terrace woman is said to know all the counter curses and hex hacks, so let's just try to think positive. And Lindia does love studying different magic abilities. Also, Terrace, come on, that is... I'm really feeling the Sanderson vibes there. I love it. Hark! Who speaks my name? Dare some Urkling creep up at my lonely cot? Aho! 2 quoth travelers. Footlings, fecklings, come inside and we jib and jabber until you finally decide to tell me about your curse. How or whether the exiled mystic really knew of Kitty's curse was anyone's guess, but they followed her inside. Kitty explained what she could. I'm afraid there's only one spell I know of that could save you. From what? But no, you two don't look so able. It'll be better for you to just accept your fate. We're literally a wolf woman and a fire demon. You know what my fate is? Oh, I know the gist of it. Curses tend to go a certain way, honey. Sorry to say. Curses, hexes, are really extensions of nature. Agents of a wild will. Like beast, like fire. Hey, look, that's really pointed when you're talking to a half-beast woman and a fire woman. Eating, breathing, destroying. And then the vultures take what's left. Whoa. Well then, what are you saying? We should just accept it? Death? You think we'd be standing here if we were those kinds of people? We're here because we take on challenges. We don't bulk. We'll do what we have to. Alright. Then here's what I need. Keep up! Why am I so much more serious about this than you are? With Lindia or Kitty. Something about this is just weird. Let's think on it. Kitty would want to do that, but I think Lindia she has more leader ability, and she also is probably irked by this other mage. So let's figure out what we need. Alright, Hazel? Should I have you stay, Hazel? Alright, Kitty and Lindia. need to go and check something out. But there's kind of an incursion, and we need to go to this funky creek, and we're sort of building this spot. So I think you guys need to stay here. Please. Please help with building. Please help with building this. There's 6 days remaining to get the pass in. We have a Gorgon army coming. We should stay here and do that side quest later. Yes. Okay, so the passageway is now open. And Gorgons will be here in 18 days. And we can only, I think we can only have so many fighters, like 5 fighters at once. So I'm actually going to send Juniper, because now is not the time to have, yeah, now is definitely not the time to take on a new battle. So I'm going to have him go and scout with Valar, because they're like brand new. Because now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we're gonna risk having Valar and Juniper do some scouting. I think it'll be okay. While there's an infestation. And I think Hazel and Kitty would try to send their son away. No, we got ambushed! The deepest have spotted us. They'll be here in about 2 minutes. Think fast. Oh my gosh. Just enough time to finish sharpening my blade. Let's light a fire to set the mood. I'm cooking here. Should I put off the fire? Or will this be a quick fight? Oh boy, guys. I think I have just killed Juniper and Valar. But I really just wanted them to be able to get out of the way of the incursion. Ah! Just enough time to finish sharpening the blade. Or, okay, let's light a fire to start the mood. For luck. Yes. Lovely. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. Horn children? I guess this is another group. It's okay to fall back. You can actually fall back? So if we make it over there, we'll be able to escape? Oh my gosh. And now there are like different moves that Juniper Wolfson can do. He can do back slam as a free action every other turn. Using his offhand, Juniper summons a heave of strength to drive an enemy to a nearby tile. With his shield, this also deals some damage. Thundering Challenge, which is active. Once per combat as a free action, Juniper frightens the enemy, forcing them to spend their next turn running away. Or he could do Wolf Call. After a successful kill, Juniper's allies gain +2 speed for this and following turns. Okay, as cool as Thundering Challenge would be, I really think forcing them to spend their next turn running away. He's literally Juniper Wolfson, son of a wolf. After a successful kill, Juniper's allies gain +2 speed. Which one to pick? For this and the following turn. Or he could frighten the enemy. To spend their next turn running away. Okay, we're gonna combine the idea of Wolf Call and Thundering Challenge and say that he like screams a wolf howl at things. And if we can get them to run away, then apparently we'll be able to save their lives. So let's run up here. We have now revealed some of the danger. Let's grab this ruined wall and infuse it. Can I do discus? Not quite just yet. Can I interfuse? Alright. Valar, he's trying to be brave. Aw, Juniper. We can do a Thundering Challenge with Juniper. Oh, you guys, I really hope I haven't just killed them. Guarding against foes. Here comes a Horn Child. He's trying to get us. Oh my gosh, there's more Woken. The Woken Call. Mushthrock's transformation. I don't like the sound of that. Really don't like the sound of that. Really don't like this. Okay, we took out one of the Horn Children at least. Can I attack this guy? Oh my gosh, I think we want to maybe attack that guy. He looks like we could come over to this Woken and do a Thundering Challenge. Let's dive over here and guard. Okay, we're guarding. We're guarding. Oh, we're hobbled. The Horn Child's trying to destroy this. We're dodging. The Call Woken. They're trying to destroy things. Thundering Challenge. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. Discus? Yes. Father figure. Okay. No, we dodged. But we took out that one. Yes, okay, that's a good thing. Then we could come over here to this guy and strike him. Okay, we got him. Okay. Will we be able to make it? I don't know. We took cover. Oh, my armor. Oh, we took cover. Okay. Discus? Okay, we're about to like lose our ruined wall and it's very important. Let's infuse with this flame and fire leash. Okay, let's do that. All right, we got him. So there's that guy. Here's a horn child that we could do. Okay, we took him out. Are we gonna be able to like defeat this even though we got ambushed? All right, took cover. Oh, you guys, I'm so proud of these two. I'm so proud of these two. Valar and Juniper, the new kids survived. And the Horn children have just gotten stronger. Ah! I'm sorry to destroy one of our new allies, like, people, I guess? But hey, we took care of this and they did it on their own just in time for the rest of the group to have the incursion show up. So, the incursion is here, friends. Ooh. And we are going to have to figure out what the advanced group will do next time, now that we have managed to fight off the Horned Ones and the Woken with our two new boys, Valar and Juniper. And I'm really proud at what they managed to pull off. So okay guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you could, do please leave a like for Valar and for Juniper, who are doing their best to be able to survive. And if you would like to join us on this and literally thousands more adventures, do please consider subscribing. But most importantly, stay curious. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!